with Seattle in general, with Russell as a quarterback and Schottenheimer as an OC?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't have much experience with Coach Schottenheimer. Um, I've been around a lot, played with a lot of quarterbacks, had a lot of OCs. Um, so I knew it would be special playing with three. But Shotty is the one that stands out the most. He's special, really talented, smart. So I'm excited to see what he puts together for us. Week in and week out.
In what ways is the relationship different with him than in previous offensive coordinators, or just the communication being different?
No, I've had some good ones. Jeremy Bates, who's the OC now with the Jets. I had a great relationship with him, and he was phenomenal for us. Coach Chan Gailey, we did some special things with Fitzpatrick and Quincy Anunwall and Eric Decker. So I had some special ones, but when you come to a situation and the chemistry's good, seeing how the quarterback and the offensive coordinator communicate, it's more about that, right? Because it's a trickle down effect. So their relationship, how they work together. Does the offensive coordinator listen to the players? Does the quarterback feel comfortable talking to the offensive coordinator, putting in his input? So, he's definitely a great coach to play for. He's been around a lot of ball, obviously, his pedigree. His ideas are pretty cool and, next level. And, then it's just come down to the fundamentals, right? How do you teach? How does the guy do standing in front of the room? Can he relate to the players? Can he hold guys accountable? And it's been fun to be here so far.
A lot of young, whether it's receivers or defensive backs, like Trey Flowers comes to mind. They've talked about how you've helped them and passing on knowledge and all that. How important is a veteran who's been through what you have, all the experience you've had, how important is that to you to kind of take on that role?
Well, I just think that's part of the process. It's something that should happen naturally. We're family, and we're all interconnected. So when those guys are doing well, then that means I'm going to do well, right? So you try to find a guy or two that you can pour into that's willing to receive and listen, and you give them your all. It doesn't matter where they're at, what position. It doesn't matter if it's on the field or off the field, right? So Trey's definitely a guy that, just the other day he came to me and he said, yeah, man, I downloaded this thing called Red Zone, NFL Red Zone, where you can watch NFL replay, where you can watch all the games. And I was watching Chicago Bears in 2009, watching Peanut Tillman. I'm like, what? So he's a special guy. He's a guy that's shown that he really wants it, right? It's one thing to have talent, to be tall and fast and smart, but are you willing to put in the work? That's the guys I gravitate to and I really appreciate.
We saw you take the time out to work with him at the end of practices and do the same thing with Russell where you guys were working on details here a little bit ago. Has that always been something you've done throughout your career, that stay after practice, that sort of focus, or is that something that you've kind of developed into as the years have gone by to really kind of dial in on that stuff?
Well, I'm an early bird. I'm a guy I like to get my work out before practice, whether it's running a little extra or catching extra balls. So I've never been a guy to stay after practice to work. But like some of the things that you guys may have seen, just like walking through things, talking through things, like the mental reps. Of course, but that happens all day. That's in a hallway. That's during the bathroom breaks. You see guys pulling each other to the side. Obviously, the quarterback-receiver relationship is important. Chemistry is important. There's a lot of language that you got to be on the same page with. A lot of, body language that you got to understand. When a quarterback look at you, give you those eyes, those lovely eyes saying, "I'm coming to you." You got to be ready for it. You're gonna miss it. So, those are the things that you do after practice or during those bathroom breaks to just speed up the learning curve.
Does it feel like a long time ago that you were in Denver?
Yeah. I haven't played in Denver since I've left. I played against the Broncos down in Miami, and so that was pretty cool. Going against Champ Bailey pretty much beat me up that year. So it's fun going back. That's where I started, and a first-class organization, and it's a special place.
Does the altitude disrupt any timing with you and a quarterback? Are there different rules at play in Denver?
Well, absolutely. It's not about the timing. It's more so just, your wind. You guys are going to feel it. You guys been around. You guys been in Denver before. You get to your hotel and you walk up the steps. You're like, I'm out of breath. So we've been having conversations, but not making it a big deal. We're prepared. We're ready. It's just one of those things where, when you go in with the mindset that it's there, you'll be able to conquer it.
Have you played against the other Brandon Marshall in a game before?
Never. Never. I met him for the first time at our charity event. We go back every year or so and raise money for the mental health community there in Denver. So this off season, I think we raised like $150,000, and he was one of our guests, and we did a jersey exchange, and it was pretty cool.
Have you ever crossed paths much with Earl Thomas?
Yeah, a lot on the field, definitely on the field. But as far as off the field, no. But I've always respected his game. We always talked in between the lines, or I talked, he listened. He's not a big talker, as you guys know.
Any particular episode stand out as far as on the field?
Yeah, he just doesn't slow up. It's like it's kind of intimidating for most guys when you line up, and you see him on the other side, and his eyes are so big. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed his eyes, but it's like he's taking 3 cups of pre-workout. So much caffeine. It's crazy seeing him on the other side. It's like, he's in that same category as Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu and some of the greats. When you go against those guys, it's a different type of ball game. So he's been special to compete against. I know when I was in New York with the Jets 2 years ago, Seattle came to New York, and he's just so smart. I caught a couple balls, and I was having my way a little bit on certain routes, and then he just adjusted. Right halfway through the ball game. So he's just so smart. His football IQ is off the charts. He's a great competitor.
You did a Q&A on Twitter this offseason, just randomly, and somebody asked you a question about what was your favorite accolade, and you said this year's Comeback Player of the Year award. I'm wondering, did you believe that when you tweeted it, and do you believe it now?
Well, obviously you haven't been around me a lot. I'm not going to say anything like that. Well, maybe. Sorry. Maybe I don't know myself. So I say a lot of things. That's pretty funny. No, I absolutely believed it. I'm a competitor. That's why I'm here, and I think the reason why I'm still playing is because I never felt like I've ever arrived. Right? I always feel like you can get better. So definitely had to overcome a lot of obstacles, but that is the goal. That's my mindset, right? So it's a long season. Last week was the first week where I felt like 100%. Now it's just knocking the rust off and getting in game shape. But 2 days before the Oakland game is when I was like, wow, okay, this is what it feels like to be, where I was, for most of my career. So I'm excited about that. And with that in mind, they haven't seen a lot of that, right? There's a lot of things that I haven't been able to do because I've been nursing this or nursing that or recovering from this or that. So I'm still trying to prove myself to not only the world, but also most importantly, my teammates and my coaches here, right? On paper, it's a 34-year-old receiver with 2 down years. So every day I go out there, I remind myself, I want to prove to number 3, what type of receiver I am and what he has out there. And, Coach Shoddy, the same thing.
It's 2015 the last time you felt that, or even before that, because you got the toe in 2015, right?
Well, actually, I got the toe my second year in the league against Oakland. It was a 2-minute drive, kind of scrambled to the right kind of play, and I caught it. Took it for 30 yards, got us into field goal range, and as I was getting tackled, linebacker fell on my right foot, and it was just one of those things that was there. Fast forward to the New York Jets in 2015, playing against Oakland again in Oakland. Caught this corner ball from Geno Smith on the sideline, pretty ball, and cornerback just landed on my ankle, toe straight up. And it was one of those things where I was going to wait till I retired and get done. But when I snapped my ankle last year, I was like, hey, I got a lot of time. It was October. So that's when I went ahead and got it done. I should have waited because I didn't know how long it was going to take. They said 3 to 4 months. It literally took the day I got cut. I was begging the Giants, like, just give me to the mini camp to show you guys. So that when mini camp started was the first day I ran pain-free from my toe. So, yeah, 2015, is when I re-injured it. And, but we were still able to do some special things that year.
So you haven't played injury or pain-free since your second year in the league?
No one has. Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is a 100% injury rate league, right? But I think that's what the greats or guys who are able to sustain for a long time do. You got to be able to play with some things. There's a lot of guys that are making Pro Bowls and All Pro years, at 80%. You just got to find a way.
Being new and having seen a lot in this league, do you think this team is a playoff caliber team?
We have the makeup. We have the leadership and the coaching staff and the locker room, and we have the work ethic. But as you guys know, any given Sunday, right? Like, who would have thought the Philadelphia Eagles were going to win a Super Bowl last year and be so dominant? Look at the year they had before. They weren't anything special. So we see that year in and year out, teams flashing. Jaguars last year. Look at the Oakland Raiders last year. They went down after coming off big years, right? Nobody would expect that. So, we have the makeup, and, it's going to be exciting to see. I love the attitude of this team.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you.